Chapter 8. Algeria to Sicily. The Moroccan epoch has ended after 1 month and 10 days. This morning we take a bus to the frontier and then walk across the border. Everything goes smoothly without a hitch. We have the proper documents as the border guards wave us through. We walk for about a half hour before the first car comes our way. Luckily, the driver pulls over. Nancy and I get in the back seat. He takes us within 7 kilometers of Oran, one of the largest cities in Algeria. We thank the kind man when he drops us off at the roadside. Within a few minutes, 2 guys in a truck with a small trailer stop for us. We hop in the back bed of the truck and sit on some bales of straw. The trailer has a cow in it. The 2 guys drive us to a farm where they unhitch the trailer. The guys drop us off at the edge of the city. The city is very modern and resembles some grand European ville. We take a bus into the center of town where we locate a place we want to stay. Our room has heat, hot water, and a phone. Nancy and I each take turns in the shower, then hit the sack. We have a big bed with plenty of room for both of us to stretch out. I fall asleep quick, out like a light. In the morning, I'm up early while Nancy is still snoozing. I decide to go for a long walk about the city on my own. I meander from the port area to a hill overlooking the metropolis and the beautiful blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea. I saunter all morning into the late afternoon. I blow my harmonica as I make my way about town. It feels good to create my own music, especially since I'm a bit bluesy today. I'm missing the people and the life I lead back home. Oran is a strange place for me to get accustomed to. The harmonica sounds help me soothe my aching soul from thoughts of woe. It has the French background with Muslim Arabic culture and is a communist nation. Quite the mix. I make it back to our hotel just before early evening. Nancy greets me with a definite attitude. "Where have you been all day?" she inquires. "Around," I respond. "Around where?" she shouts at me. "You know I can't go anywhere by myself. You left me before I woke up, and you didn't leave a note. I've been worried all afternoon." "Look, Nancy, we're not married, nor are we even an item. We are traveling companions, period. I don't owe you an explanation for anything I choose to do." "Common decency and compassion isn't your strong suit," she complains. "I should know that by now." "Listen, I don't want to argue with you. It's not worth the time or energy for either of us," I say. "I need to argue. I need to communicate. I'm going nuts," she roars at me as her body literally shakes. "Calm down." "You calm down. Up yours, Steve. You have no idea of the constant stress I'm under. If you would just do a better job of pretending you're my husband, fiancé, or boyfriend, then I wouldn't have these problems," she exclaims. "Sorry, dear, but I didn't sign up for that." Nancy and I have real differences. The stars are aligned against us. We are repelling forces, but yet we need each other to get through this. What a challenge this journey through North Africa has become with Nancy. Will I be able to make it all the way to Rome with her and still have my sanity intact? Nancy and I awake at the same time in the early morning. We need to get ready and pack for another day on the road. Oran has been a nice stopover, but we have to keep moving and are literally just passing through. Nancy is still upset with me from our talk last night. I'm getting the silent treatment, which is fine with me. We both make haste and are soon out the door. Out on the streets of Oran, Algeria, we find a good place to eat breakfast at 8 in the morning. Nancy and I share a plate of cheese, bread, olives, and a pot of tea. She's starting to loosen up and be friendly as she inquires with good nature, "So what's up today, Woodstock?" She always calls me Steve. She's never addressed me as Woodstock. "Hitch, hitch, hitch all the way," I reply. "I know that. I mean, how far? What's our destination?" We will continue heading eastward along the Mediterranean coast to the next big city in Algeria, the capital, Algiers, I say. We finish our breakfast and pay the bill. Nancy insists it's on her. We load our gear onto our backs and exit the restaurant. You ready to start thumbing it again? I say. Doesn't look like we have to, she says, pointing at the vehicle parked in front of the eatery at the curbside. A man motions for us to come over. Need a ride, sir? He asks. Sure, I say. Going to Algiers. No, but I could get you closer, sir, he replies. Okay. We hop in the back seat of a black car that resembles a Cadillac, but it's a foreign model I've never heard of. The man squeals off like a speed demon, driving with the pedal to the metal along the coastline. Nancy and I grip each other's forearms and hold on tight with gritted teeth in the back seat. About 110 kilometers from Iran, and our driver suddenly pulls over. We get out of the car, safe and sound, and glad to be on solid ground. It is so bizarre that as soon as we are dropped off in the middle of nowhere, another driver stops for us. We're hitching through Algeria without really needing to hitchhike. Our new ride drives a white, mid-sized van. He motions to the back seat without uttering a word. Algiers? Yes? I inquire. The man nods his head and smiles. Nancy and I get in the back seat. This guy is very slow. He only drives 30 kilometers an hour for long stretches. His head keeps falling forward towards the steering wheel, then snaps erect, only to be lulled back into the monotonous rhythm. I'm worried he could fall asleep, get in a wreck, and get us injured or killed. Hey, man, wake up, I shout. You look pretty tired. Need some help staying awake? I can talk and shout at you if you want. The driver looks at me in the rearview mirror, sits up stern in the seat, gripping the steering wheel tight, eyes wide open, clearing at the road and back at me in the rearview mirror. 30 kilometers an hour we go. At least he's staying awake now. When we finally arrive in Algiers, it is late evening and raining. The driver drops us off at a hotel that is a little more expensive than our taste, but beggars can't be choosers, so we relent. We are truly tired and spent. The slow trek here was grueling, but we made it through. For dinner, we share a lamb shish kebab meal together and then hit the sack. It's morning time in Algiers. We are in the great capital city of Algeria. We do not have plans to take any time to explore or hang around. We have to keep moving. The border to Tunisia is getting closer. We start hitching once again to greet the day. We get a couple of short rides back to back, then it takes a while to land the third ride. It's obvious we will not make it to the original destination I had planned for us. A pickup truck driver finally pulls over and we hop into the bed of the truck. The driver takes us down the road a couple of hours, then we hitch our fourth ride of the day and end up in the town of Sétif. Sétif is located on the high plateau of Algeria. It is very cold because we are over 3,000 feet high in elevation. It's colder than just cold. It's freezing cold, bitter cold, uncomfortable cold. That's how cold it is. I need warmer clothing. Our driver drops us off in this small, out-of-the-way town. Nancy and I walk down the sidewalk. I approach a couple of locals, guys in their 20s. Excuse me, would you happen to know where the nearest hotel is, or better yet, a youth hostel? I inquire. Sure, says one of the guys. Follow us. The two guys move briskly down the sidewalk, turn a corner, then a few paces down, they turn another corner. Nancy and I walk quickly to keep pace. Then suddenly we are led to the front steps of a local youth hostel. Thanks, guys, I say. The two guys nod and smile at us as they depart. Wow, that really helped. The clerk checks us in. We are the only lodgers in this out-of-the-way town. What a strange place. The hostel worker sleeps with us in the large dormitory room. The next morning, we are greeted by Mustafa and Fuad. These are the guys that helped lead us to the youth hostel last night. They are very hospitable, inviting us out to breakfast and then lunch later. We gladly accept their invitations. In between mealtimes, we play some competitive ping pong in the lobby of the youth hostel. Abdul and Fuad are cool cats. I get along with them well. We go out in the early evening to a restaurant for couscous, lamb, Algerian cakes, and tea. Very good. Paid for by our hosts. Mustafa and Fuad then take us on a small walking tour about town, till we wind up back at the youth hostel. Mustafa and I sit by the fireplace. Nancy and Fuad go outside to the toilet in an adjoining building. Nancy comes back hysterical. "He tried to rape me," she screams. Her lower lip is bloody, her shirt ripped, and her left bra strap hanging. "He followed me into the bathroom and tried to rape me in the toilet stall," she claims. Mustafa objects. "Fuad would never do that." "How did you get away?" I ask. "I kicked him in the balls and punched him in the face," she says. "And if he comes at me again, I will gouge out his eyeballs." Mustafa leaves. Fuad doesn't return. I accompany poor weeping Nancy to her bed in the dormitory. She cleans herself up, and then I tuck her in for the evening. Even though she gets on my nerves many times, I feel like I must be like a caring big brother to her right now. When I was talking to Mustafa by the fireplace after dinner, just before Nancy came screaming in hysterics, Mustafa was telling me his theory of women, that a bitch is a bitch. It's obvious that the men do not support equality of rights for women in this society. Most of the women are covered or hidden away. Nancy, with her long, straight, blonde hair, is like a beacon to the many horny guys we meet throughout North Africa. She is an anomaly out here. Then, when they decipher that I'm free and easy and don't keep a watchful eye on her, it's open season on Nancy. It's Christmas morning 1970, and I'm in Sétif, Algeria. I greet the snowy chill wrapped up with my wool jalaba. We have to keep moving, so it's back to hitching our way. Before we depart, we share a breakfast of bread, butter, tea, and some horrid cheese that was inedible to me. Now we set off for the next leg of our journey. Destination, Constantine. We hitch a ride a short way and quickly snag another ride. We are now in Constantine, and it's only noon. We decide on a spot to go to Annaba on the Mediterranean coast, some 150 kilometers north and much nearer the border with Tunisia. We are spending our entire Christmas day traveling. Our next driver, Ahmed, has a small van with only one seat. Ahmed is going to Annaba. Great. I put our backpacks into the back. I get in the passenger seat first, then Nancy sits on my lap. This is okay for a small stretch until my ass and thighs can't take it anymore. I asked Ahmed to pull over, and I get in the back with our bags and his equipment, parts, and tools. Ahmed is a 35-year-old Western-type business guy, but an Algerian Arab nonetheless. He's very friendly and hospitable towards us. As soon as we arrive in Annaba, Ahmed pulls over at a little store, goes in, then comes out with a bottle of beer for each of us. We sit in the parking lot enjoying our beverage. Ahmed proceeds to invite us out to eat. Sure, why not? At dinner, Ahmed says he will pay for a hotel for all three of us. After our meal, we stop at a couple of hotels, but no rooms are available. At the third stop, the Hotel Bonheur, Ahmed secures a place for the three of us for 25 dinar. However, the hotel staff won't allow Nancy to sleep in the same room as me because our passports do not indicate we are married. "I'm not going, Steve. I don't trust this place. I want to sleep in this room with you," she says to me in disgust. "Sorry, let's go along with this, Nancy. He bought us a great dinner, and now we have a free hotel room," I say. 3 members of the hotel staff, all women with their hair covered, come towards us for Nancy. "No," screams Nancy. She hides behind me, clutching my back and shoulders as she peeks from behind my body. "No, no, no," she shouts. "What's going on here?" I ask. The 3 women remain silent as they point at Nancy. "She doesn't want to come with you," I say. "She must," says Ahmed. "Either that or we will be up all night and no one gets any rest. Believe me." After a stare-down standoff of silence for more than a half hour, Nancy finally relents. All right, she shouts. "I'll go off with these women to get a bed and some sleep, hopefully." And with that, Nancy gathers her stuff and follows the 3 hotel staff women to the other side of the building. There is a double bed and a single bed in the room that Ahmed and I are sharing. "Why don't we sleep in the big bed together?" suggests Ahmed. There's more blankets, more room, and much warmer. Okay, I agree. It sure is cold. So I hop in one side of the big bed, and Ahmed gets in the other side. I stay close to the edge of the bed and soon drift off to sleep. Suddenly, I wake up. Ahmed is sliding his cock along my ass crack. Startled, I jump out of bed and turn the light on. What the fuck? I shout. Ahmed stares back at me with his hard pecker in his hand, stroking himself. Come on, Steve, he says. Let me make love to you. No way. I'm not a homosexual, I say. Ahmed points at my ass while he continues stroking himself on the bed. Please, let me do it for just a few minutes. That's all, just a few minutes, he whines to me. Forget about it, man. It's not going to happen. I'm done with you, I say. I'm sleeping in the other bed. You stay here, motherfucker, or I swear I'll beat the fuck out of you. Ahmed blows me kisses. Please, let me love you, Steve. Go to sleep, I shout at him. Then I turn the lights out and hop in the small bed as I tightly wrap the blankets around my body. If he tries to get at me again, I will know right away before he gets anything started. Still, I feel I need to sleep with one eye open just to be sure. I can hear loud, persistent door banging coming from the direction of the hotel where the ladies took Nancy. I hope she's going to be all right through the night. It's the next morning. What a mind blower of a night. Oh, what a night. I get up early to check on Nancy, but she already left for the Tunisian consul. I walk out of the hotel lobby and locate a restaurant next door. I take a seat at a table and look over the menu to order breakfast. I'm soon joined by Ahmed. He acts casual and hip, like nothing ever happened last night. Far out, that's fine with me. As soon as we order breakfast, Nancy returns from her early morning sojourn and joins us. How are you guys this morning? I hardly slept a wink last night, she says. Yeah, what was all that noise, I ask. Some drunk guys trying to beat our doors down, she says. All the women were frightened. I thought they were coming after me, she says. What did you do this morning so early, I ask. I went to the Tunisian consulate. They weren't going to let me in their country without a cholera injection. You remember me telling you about that? Oh, yeah, but I forgot, I say. You all set now? I got my shots before I left the States. Yes, I'm ready to enter Tunisia. We finish eating our breakfast and then exit the restaurant to the main street. We go back next door to the hotel and pick up our gear and check out of the rooms. I meet Nancy in front of the hotel, and look who's waiting for us. Ahmed. We got to lose this guy. He had been kind to us and a great help, but after last night, I'd rather part ways. Can you just drop us off at the highway, Ahmed? I can take you all the way to Tunisia, he offers. No, thanks anyway. Ahmed, just get us to the highway. We can make it on our own from that point, I say. We really appreciate all you've done for us with the ride, the meals, and the lodging. Okay, if that's all you want or need from me, says Ahmed. Then Ahmed mouths a kiss to me and blows it in the air. Nancy looks at me with a befuddled curiosity. I ignore her glance and pretend like I didn't see Ahmed's affectionate gesture. I don't feel like explaining anything, at least not right now. Maybe I will tell her what happened last night some other time. Maybe not. The three of us pile into Ahmed's truck. Nancy sits on my lap in the passenger seat. Ahmed drives us the short distance to the coastal highway and pulls over and drops us off. A pickup truck soon comes by and we hop in the back. What an incredible view, looking out to the sea, interspersed with sporadic swampy areas. Then it turns into a green wonderland. Lush grass, blue sky, and sea. Cows and horses romp and graze in the fields. Our driver drops us off at a little border town, the last town in Algeria for us. We hitch another ride from town across a desolate highway to the border. There's absolutely no traffic, so we are forced to walk the final 10 kilometers to the Tunisian border across no man's land, the beautiful green hills. We officially cross the border into Tunisia, but there's no guard for 3 more kilometers. At the customs immigration office, there's no money exchange available. It's turning to evening and getting dark as well as cold very quickly. We trek another 5 kilometers to a tiny village, Babouche. It's pitch black and there's nowhere to stay. The next town is 7 kilometers down the road where they have hotels. Tired, beat, exhausted, we cannot make it any further. We have no place for our weary heads. We are really bummed out as we walk down the dark road. Then along comes a guy to save our hides. A local young man approaches us out of the dark night. "Do you know any place we can stay?" "Yes, come with me," says the young Tunisian. "You can stay at my brother's house. My name is Heidi." We follow Heidi to his brother's house, a farm just out of town. We meet his family. Soon we hear the mournful cry of a chicken butchered for our meal. Nancy and I sleep in a back room that is partitioned and has a separate entrance from the main house. The wind howls like a wolf all night. I eventually fall asleep. Heidi is in bed next to me. Nancy is on the other side of the partial wall partition. It's morning time before dawn, and Nancy claims she has been seduced again. We whisper to each other in the dark. "I woke up in the middle of the night to a man crouch over me, fondling my breast," she claims. "Who? It wasn't Heidi, was it?" "No, I don't think so," she says. "You didn't hear me scream?" "I was out, probably thought it was a howling wind. You all right, though?" "Yes, he left when I screamed." "He didn't come back?" "No, but I thought he would, so I couldn't get any sleep after that." "Well, let's get our gear and get moving. Time to get out of here," I say. We quietly pack up and sneak out our back door entrance before the break of dawn. Nancy walks out first, tiptoeing out the door. I right behind her. Just as I walk across the threshold to close the door, "Hey, mister," says the voice. I step back in the room, peeking inside through the dark. "Huh?" A lamplight comes on. Heidi rolls over on the bed he's sleeping in and grabs something from the nearby end table. "Here, take these to tide you over till you can get money exchange," says Heidi. He gets up from the bed and walks toward me as he hands me his own Tunisian currency, some 500 mils. I'm speechless. "Here, take this. It is my will to offer this to you," he says. "Thank you very much. You have been so kind and compassionate to us strangers passing through," I say. "You are a blessed soul. Thank you again, my friend, from both of us." And with that, I exit the home and meet up with Nancy outside. We head back to the road through the small village. The enveloping hills tuck inside each other from my viewpoint, to where the whole panorama strikes me with nature's awe. One gets used to the majestic sights that can always appear on the horizon, but some days the sights can literally take the breath away. We walk to Ain Draham and immediately purchase bus tickets to Jendouba. Besides a short train ride and a short bus ride, we have hitched all the way across North Africa. The land is very bland and dry after the mountains. The incredible big hills in the mountain chain were green and lush. Soon we will be approaching Tunis, the capital and biggest city in Tunisia. I look out the window upon a bustling port metropolis. The bus drops us off at the depot. We gather our gear and exit into the busy streets of the bustling port. We are in the final stretch of our North African excursion. We discover a youth hostel while out roaming around not far from the bus depot. We both settle into our dormitory rooms, then meet up for a walk to the port. "So this is it," I say. "We can purchase tickets from here to leave Africa for Europe by way of Sicily." "I'm so excited," she says. I laugh. Nancy is never excited about anything. "Why are you laughing at me?" "Just the irony of you being excited," I say. "What do you mean by that?" she questions defensively. "Never mind. Don't worry about it," I say. "Look over here, a shipping line that will take us to Palermo." "How much? And how long is the trip?" she inquires. I quickly scan through some nearby literature. It says $14 per person for a 12-hour voyage. "Isn't that steep?" she says. "It is what it is. I see a currency exchange over there across the street from the docks. Let's get some money." We get our money exchanged and then continue walking up and down the docks. We find the shipping line and purchase our tickets. The ship departs tomorrow at 11 in the evening. After sleeping in and resting up all day, we take a train down to the port. La Goulette. We discover the port to be filled with a contingent of hippie freaks. The Tunisian customs agents direct us to go sit on the floor with the other hippies. We take a seat on the floor amongst our brethren. The Tunisian guards glare at us like we are aliens from another planet. It is a very weird feeling, like Planet of the Apes and World of the Apes. We are supposed to board the ship and depart at 11, but the customs agents keep us waiting till 1:45 in the morning. My passport is checked 4 times. Finally, we are allowed to board a bus that takes us to our ship. We follow the crowd embarking on the ship. We pile into the 4th class section on the lower deck. It is so crowded we can't sit. We find ourselves packed in like sardines. I'm starting to feel claustrophobic. "Steve, we have to get out of here," says Nancy. "I can't take it anymore. I feel like I'm going to suffocate." "Me too," I quip. "My claustrophobia is starting to kick in." And with that comment, Nancy literally parts the crowd so we can get through. "Follow me. Stay close. We're getting through," she proclaims. Nancy proceeds to push, jostle, squeeze, and holler our way through the compact 4th class section of the ship. I stay on her heels. She's like a bull. People topple forward and fall to the side. She will not be stopped. Nancy bellows out loudly in a roaring voice as she plows through the crowd. "Make way! Coming through! Make way now! Coming through, people!" She leads us out of this mass of humanity and on to the next deck, where we locate a comfortable lounge and bar. We spend the 12-hour voyage in real comfort. Wearing my jalaba, I fall asleep in my chair after a couple of drinks. I wake to cries of Tunisians receiving their passports from the customs immigration authorities. We will soon be docking in Palermo. I rush out to the side railing to view our approach to the island of Sicily. I have made the crossing from Europe to Africa and back to Europe. The ship continues to approach the port dock in Sicily. The captain directs a smooth docking. We disembark the ship and find ourselves hanging with a group of 6 other hippie freaks. We are all looking for a monetary exchange to get some Italian currency. One in our group locates an American Express office, and we all follow. After getting our money exchanged, we continue to hang out as a group, 5 men and 3 women, all of us American hippies. Nancy finally has some Western women to talk to. She is enjoying the sudden camaraderie. We stay at the restaurant for several hours, taking pleasure in good conversation and great dishes of Italian spaghetti and meatballs. Then we proceed to hunt for lodging as a group. We get turned down at several hotels. Finally, we land a dive to accommodate all of us for 600 lira apiece, about $1. Next morning, Nancy and I get back to hitching on the road heading east out of Palermo along the northern coast of the island of Sicily. We walk an incredible distance before we finally get a ride. Our goal is to get to the port of Messina to cross over to mainland Italy by ferry. But that's not happening today. Our ride gets us to within 50 kilometers of Messina. The road is incredibly curvy along the coastal mountain roads. By nightfall, our driver drops us off in a tiny little town. We stay at a youth hostel on a hill. Nancy and I share some bread, ham, and cheese for dinner. We hear firecrackers going off in the distance, as well as we see fireworks exploding in the sky. It's New Year's Eve. This sudden fact instantly depresses both of us. Here we are together, and it's New Year's Eve. There's no fun or celebration to be had by us. We mope through our meal in silence, depressed for our yearnings to be back home around those we know and love. The explosive sounds continue unabated. Nancy and I lock eyes on each other. The melancholy emanates from both of us. We stand next to each other and share a long hug. The sky fills with bright colors. Happy New Year, 1971, we shout in unison to the cosmos.